They laughed. They expected noise. You didn't give them noise. You gave them nothing. And nothing is louder than silence. You think strength comes from screaming back? From swinging wild every time you're provoked? That's weakness dressed as fire. And fire without control burns its own house down. They wanted a reaction. They poked, they prodded, they baited not to win, but to own you, to prove they could move you, make you flinch, make you bark, make you break character. But you didn't bark, you didn't flinch, you went still. And stillness is terrifying because silence doesn't mean absence. It means calculation. It means control. It means war is coming. But on your time you learn the hard way. They used to get to you. Words like knives, lies like poison. They watched you bleed and called it weakness. They smiled when you cracked. They celebrated your reaction until you stopped giving it to them. Pain taught you what applause never could. You lost again and again, face down, ego shattered, shame chewing through your pride like rust on steel. You thought you were strong until life humbled you. You gave your trust to snakes, gave your time to cowards, gave your heart to the unworthy. They didn't just betray you, they used you. They enjoyed it. And worst of all, you let them. You made yourself easy to read, easy to rattle, and they did. Every single time until one day you shut the door. No grand speech, no explosion, just silence. You stopped defending your name, stopped explaining your choices, stopped proving your worth to people who never deserved access to it. You let them speak. Let them assume. Let them throw stones at the shadow you left behind. You weren't retreating. You were sharpening, becoming lean, becoming cold, becoming precise. Every scar turned to armor. Every heartbreak became fuel. Not to cry louder, but to walk quieter. The wolf doesn't announce its hunt. The storm doesn't beg for understanding, and steel doesn't scream when it cuts. You became earth. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's not the sound of surrender, it's the sound of sharpening. You think the lion wastes time arguing with sheep. You think the mountain cares if you scream at it. You think war drums need to explain themselves. Let them talk, let them laugh, let them need you to react. Because the more they need it, the more you own them. That's the secret. They never taught you control is power. Restraint is power. Restraint is power. Detachment is nuclear. And the most savage move is not to play. They mocked your silence because they feared it. They knew they couldn't manipulate it, couldn't mold it, couldn't mold it, couldn't predict it. You stopped being a puppet. You became the storm behind the calm, the fire behind the stone. Not cold, not numb. Calculated. You feel everything. You just don't show everything. Emotion without discipline is suicide. Reaction without reason is slavery. Noise without direction is chaos. But silence is tactical. You don't show your next move. You don't reveal your scars. You let them guess. Let them wonder. Let them drown in the space you refuse to fill. Because silence makes them talk more, expose more, crack faster, and you observe, you adapt, you evolve. That's how you win. Not by barking louder, but by becoming so unmoved, they start to question their own reality. You don't need to prove them wrong. You just need to keep rising. No rage, no pity, just progress. That's how vengeance works now. Not through hate, not through destruction, through indifference, through excellence, through peace. So unshakable it haunts them. You're not reacting, you're rebuilding. You're not loud, you're lethal. You're not broken, you're untouchable. Because silence is sacred, is where the real work happens. The transformation, the rebirth, the rise. Now you move with intention. Now you act from strength. Now you make them feel your absence more than they ever felt your presence. And that's real power. No applause, no announcement, just results. They wanted noise, they got ghosts. They wanted drama, they got distance. They wanted weakness, they got a wall. You became silence, you weaponized it. So remember, not every battle needs a blade. Not every insult needs an answer. Not every lie deserves correction. Let your silence starve their expectations. Let your growth punish their ignorance. Let your presence haunt their memory. Because still waters are deep. Because real fire burns quiet. Because the most dangerous ones say the least. They can't predict you, can't read you, can't reach you, they don't even know you anymore. Because the old version, the loud one, the raw one, he died. This new one, he doesn't react, he calculates, he executes, he wins. Final truth, they wanted a reaction. You became silence. They wanted a reaction. You became silence. They thought silence was surrender, that no reply meant defeat, that stillness meant you'd given up. But the wise know better. The wildest storms begin in total calm. The most brutal warriors don't speak, they strike. And the most final answers come with no words at all. You didn't disappear. You descended into discipline, into solitude, into the trenches where no audience can follow. No spotlight, no noise. Just you and the war inside. They will never understand that silence because they've never faced themselves. They've never sat in the dark without distractions. Never killed the weaker version of themselves in cold blood. But you did. Because you had to. Because the noise wasn't working anymore. Because chaos was costing you everything. So you burned the old script, the people pleaser, the hothead, the one who always had something to prove. Now there's nothing left to prove. Only things to build, only mountains to climb, only enemies to outlast. You stopped arguing because you realized facts don't change minds. Pain does. And your pain spoke volumes. It turned your roar into precision, your pride into purpose, your rage into restraint. That's what they don't teach. That real power is quiet. It doesn't perform, it prepares. You don't wear your strength on your sleeves anymore. You keep it locked behind your ribs like a loaded weapon. No one sees it until they cross the line. Then they feel it. All of it. The same people who used to trigger you, now they walk on eggshells because they don't know what's behind the silence. And silence leaves room for fear. They feel it in the way you look at them. Not like prey, not like a victim, but like someone who buried his own weakness and isn't afraid to bury them too. You became your own executioner. And once you've killed the softer parts of yourself, there's nothing left for them to take. That's the true power of silence. It's not passive. It's not polite. It's predatory. Still, cold, deadly. While they chase attention, you chase mastery. While they react, you observe. While they play chess, you become the board. They can't win a game you no longer play. You watch them try to bait you, try to drag you back into the chaos, back into that old version of you who fought for validation. But the doors are closed, the locks changed. The man they used to manipulate doesn't live here anymore. You're not running on emotion now. You run on code, on mission, on law. Law of the silent. Move only when it counts. Law of the focused. Speak only when it breaks the enemy. Law of the risen. Never feed what tried to starve you. You learn not to respond to barking dogs. Let them tire themselves out. You got empires to build. That's the new revenge. Not fire, not fury, but elevation. Let them stay behind in the noise. Let them rot in gossip. Let them drown in their echo chambers. You've already outgrown the room, outgrown the argument, outgrown the need to explain yourself. That's what silence means now, not absence, ascension. You walk alone, yes, but not lonely. You've traded audience for accuracy, distraction for domination, validation for victory, and they'll never see it coming, because the louder they get, the less they notice how fast you're rising. You left quietly, but you'll return unignorable. Not as the man they remember, but as the ghost of their regret. Your peace will be their punishment. Your discipline will be their disappointment. Your success will be their silence. That's the beauty of it. You say nothing and still you say everything, because silence isn't the absence of sound. It's the presence of control. And control is the highest form of vengeance. Every morning you wake up and don't react, you win. Every time you stay focused while they beg for your attention, you win. Every day you move forward without dragging the past with you, you win. It's not personal anymore. It's not emotional. It's inevitable. They will watch you rise in silence, in shadow, in strength, and they won't know whether to fear you or worship what you've become. That's the duality of silence. It humbles you, then it exalts you, because to become untouchable, you must first become unseen. Let them mock, let them talk, let them meet a version of you that's never coming back, because silence is no longer just a shield. It's your weapon, your armor, your language. And in a world addicted to noise, the quiet man owns the room. You own the room now. Not by force, by presence, not by volume, by gravity. Let them orbit. Let them guess. Let them wonder how the man they used to control became the one they now fear in silence. You earned this. Every bruise, every betrayal, every night you swallowed your own screams just to sharpen the edge. You turned pain into power, chaos into calm, reaction into ritual. And now you don't respond. You rise. That's your answer. Not words, not noise, just forward, just farther, just unreachable. Because they wanted a reaction, you gave them evolution. They wanted weakness. You gave them disappearance. They wanted noise. You became the void. Final law. When they try to pull you back, don't speak, don't flinch, don't look. Just keep walking. And let the silence follow you like a crown. They wanted a reaction. You became silence. They wanted a reaction. You became silenced.